Welcome to the 2022 KBRF Radio News Debate. My name is Sarah Duffy and I will be your moderator today. Today's debates will include candidates from Ottertail County Commissioner Board positions for Districts 2, 3, and 4. The Ottertail County Board of Commissioners is comprised of 5 commissioners from 5 districts. District 1 includes the northeast area of the county. District 2 includes the northwest part of the county. District 3 is comprised of the southwest portion of the county. District 4 is the southeast area, and District 5 includes the city of Fergus Falls. Each commissioner is elected by the people in his or her district and serves a 4-year term. The commissioners are responsible for examining and setting budgets, policies, and numerous other county business. Our first debate today will be candidates from District 2. We will then hear from District 3 candidates, concluding today's debate with candidates from District 4. Each district will be provided 30 minutes for their debate. District 1 and District 5 are not up for re-election this term. At the outset, I would request that our candidates and everyone in the audience be respectful to one another. To ensure a fair and objective debate, questions have been provided to the candidates ahead of the debate today. I will not be taking any questions from the audience today. We will open each debate by providing the candidates with 2 minutes to provide an opening statement. We will then go into our questions. Each candidate will be provided 2 minutes to answer each question. If a candidate would like to provide a rebuttal answer, you can indicate this by raising your hand to me. I have the ultimate discretion on whether to allow for rebuttal, but if time allows, I will allow up to 30 seconds for a rebuttal answer. All rebuttals are to be made while affording due respect to your fellow candidate. After our questions have concluded, candidates will then be provided 2 minutes for a closing statement. A 2-card system will be used today to indicate the time remaining to answer each question. A member of the program staff here will hold up the yellow card to indicate 60 seconds remaining, and a red card indicates fewer than 10 seconds remaining. All time limits will be enforced today, so please adhere to these guidelines. Lastly, to be heard by the audience beyond the debate room, know that the microphones will only amplify the sounds directly in front of them. So please ensure that the microphone is in front of you, facing you while you are speaking, and that you are speaking loudly and within a reasonable distance from the microphone. Now that we have laid the foundation for the basic procedure for today's debates, we will begin with our District 2 candidates. The 2 candidates from District 2 include Jeffrey Gunterick and the incumbent Commissioner Wayne Johnson. Mr. Johnson, if you would please start our debate today by providing your opening statement.
Thank you, Sarah, and thank you for the opportunity. Thank you to KBRF and Leighton Broadcasting for hosting this debate. Hi, I'm Wayne Johnson. I'm a lifelong resident of Ottertail County, raised on our family's dairy farm. I have owned a small business in Ottertail County for nearly 30 years. I know hard work, long hours, responsibility, and how to persevere in tough times. I am running to serve the citizens of Ottertail County. I am focused on improving our infrastructure, roads, bridges, broadband, and housing, all of which will lead to economic development. Economic development will grow the tax base, which will reduce individual property taxes. I also want to make sure our children and elderly have access to the things they need: safe, affordable child care for our children, and help to keep the elderly safe and self-sufficient in their own homes. I have a proven track record of getting things done, and I would appreciate your vote this fall. Again, thank you, Leighton Broadcasting and KBRF Radio.
Thank you, Commissioner Johnson. Mr. Gunterick, your opening statement, please.
Jeff Gunterick. I'm a resident of Ottertail County since 1975. Grew up on Pelican Lake on our family resort. I reside just south of Maplewood State Park for the last 22 years. I am married and I have a son in college. I'm running to address some of the issues that many of us are concerned about, such as our road maintenance, our lake health, daycare, and investors coming into Ottertail County. When you are an investor and you drive through, you can see a few buildings that are empty. You can see a lot of road work that's not done. there's some issues as an investor on why you would want to come here and then start a business. It's not just housing. Housing is important. Housing is something that is a continual issue, but we do have to attract businesses, and we do have to take care of our infrastructure with the taxes that you are taxed on. We need to see the results on the roads. We need to repair that stuff.
Thank you. We will now start with our first question. We will have 4 questions with today's debate. The first question will start with Mr. Johnson. One of the biggest challenges for young families, especially single-parent homes or homes in which both parents work, is finding reliable and affordable childcare. What role can the county play to support childcare providers and ensure every family can afford to work?
I think there's 3 or 4 things that we can do. First off, we can promote the availability of licensing and financial resources for new and existing child care providers. There's a lot of regional, state, and federal resources currently available. We can be a clearinghouse. We can be a single source of information out there for anyone who needs help navigating all of the programs that are out there. Secondly, we can help recruit, retain, and develop child care providers to support the growth of child care capacity. The county has just entered into a contract with 2 independent contractors. Those contractors are providing technical support to new and existing child care providers, as well as to communities that are looking to develop solutions of their own. Thirdly, we can create partnerships between providers, employers, and communities to improve access and availability to quality child care. For example, there's a new child care pod at Pioneer Care here in Fergus Falls. That pod opened in September, and now workers at Pioneer Care have access to safe, affordable child care right where they work. This is just one of the examples of how the county can assist finding solutions to the child care shortage in Ottertail County. Having safe, affordable child care then allows parents to work. Currently, there are over 1,200 positions available from businesses in the county. Our studies show that we will need 2,800 jobs to be filled in the next 10 years. Child care plays a pivotal role in keeping families here so that they can live, work, and play in our beautiful community.
Thank you, Commissioner Johnson. Mr. Gontarek.
4 years ago, when I was running against Wayne Johnson, we had a debate at the Pelican Rapids High School. Child care was one of the main issues that came up. And I said, we've been talking child care since 1996. It's been an issue for a very long time. Commissioner Johnson has been on the board for 12 years, and we're hearing what we can do, what we can do. We actually need to get moving on what we can do. Speaking to our citizens in Ottertail County, there's a grant that popped up on the 22nd that helps you. You could put in a fence. You could apply for mentoring. There's different things that you can do. So there is quite a bit of support from the state. Currently, daycares, licensed daycares are receiving $420 a month extra money coming from the state to help with their funds. Also, you can get $800 a month through the USDA food program to help support that. But we've had 12 years to work with daycare. Daycare providers that I've spoken with, 9 of them, they are okay with some public daycare if the people are okay with it, but they would like to see bigger companies start helping and give that as a benefit to help alleviate the openings. We're in desperate need of toddler and infant care, and licensing takes about 4 to 6 months, mostly about 5.5 months to get licensed. So mentoring, assisting in any way financially that is feasible and allowable by the taxpayer, working with businesses to provide some daycare as a benefit for their employees would gratefully, people would be grateful for that. A lot of the daycare people said, we can't take it, and it's really hard on us when we cannot get somebody in when they need daycare.
Thank you. Our second question, we will start with Mr. Gontarek answering first. Minnesota is known as the land of 10,000 lakes, and more than 1,000 of those lakes are here located in Ottertail County. What role should the county play in preserving these natural resources, and what ideas do you have for improving our lakes, rivers, and streams?
Well, going off the 2021 Ottertail County website, $412,654.42 were applied towards AIS inspections. We had about 12,800 inspections with that. One of the things that I would do is that, you know, we're looking at it, since Mr. Johnson's been commissioner, he's had 75 lakes become infected with zebra mussels. Now, did he do that? No. But when we have a program in place and we have money going into that, we have to review it and we have to see, is this working? If you go and take a look at the snapshot of the program, there's a lot of good information here, but we're growing with zebra mussels. We're still having infestations. We have the Pelican Rivers project that's going to be receiving $600,000 a year for the next 10 years. What's going to be done with that money? How is that going to really stop the spread? So I think we need to take a look at the different information that we have, and we have to review and change this money around and where to go. I would like to see extra officers over a couple extra AIS inspectors, because kids respect them more. They get out there. It's a more of a presence. Our out-of-state people listen to them more. And we need to train the AIS inspectors. I've come across a few. One was just giving misinformation where you need to have bottled water, but it can only be in your car. That water, according to state law, can be in your boat as long as it's not open. Lots of new training. Take a look at the information. Is this the way to do it? Just putting the $500,000 a year in it, is that going to take care of the AIS problems? So when you take a look at the board people, Betty, you've been on the board for a while. You've got 30 lakes that have been infested while you're on, so we got to do something different.
Thank you. Commissioner Johnson.
In response to one of the statements that my opponent said, the $600,000 is the one watershed, one plan money. It has nothing to do with aquatic invasive species. So it'd be good if he recognized that. And actually,
Sorry, you can have a rebuttal, but just wait until Commissioner Johnson is done.
And actually, I think we need to continue the success of the IS program. We've slowed the spread of invasive species. That's real. It's not a perfect world. We can't stop every boat. At the end of the day, we need to worry about other invasive species. Starry stonewort is just a little ways south of Ottertail County in Lake Coronis near Paynesville. Starry stonewort is an invasive algae that forms dense mats on the lake bed, sometimes reaching the surface and choking out native plants, disrupting fish habitat, and interfering with navigation and recreation. It can have a devastating effect on our lakes, and frankly, the value of the property surrounding the lake. Currently, it costs about $10,000 a year to simply control starry stonewort on the lake. We have 1,048 lakes in Ottertail County. It is imperative we continue our fight against the spread of invasive species. The other thing I think we can do is we can consider reducing the amount of impervious surface allowed on any new development lake lots. Studies show that more impervious surface you have, the more runoff into lakes you have. That runoff contains contaminants that potentially damage the lakes. Thirdly, I think we need to educate our lake homeowners to leave buffers of vegetation other than groomed Kentucky bluegrass. Deep-rooted native plant species are far better at trapping and treating runoff than perfectly groomed golf course type lawns. And finally, we need to thank our farmers and agricultural friends. We have a 99.5% compliance with the buffer law in the state of Minnesota and Ottertail County. Our farmers have done a terrific job helping us protect the waters of Ottertail County.
You can finish. You were interrupted. Mr. Kantarik, would you like any rebuttal?
Sure. The buffer law has been excellent here. Our farmers have followed that. And there are lake association and COLA people that are working very hard. I believe, they've created some lids, and they've done some things to help the runoff. You know, there's some complaints with, I don't remember the number ditch, but it's up on number 4. There's a ditch that people have complained about in the last several weeks about running in, it's a county ditch running into the water. So I have to do some research on that. But we do have to take a look at these hard numbers. These hard numbers are right here, and we have to take a look.
Your time is up. Sorry. Thank you, Mr. Kantarik. Our next question will start with Commissioner Johnson. As of July 1, 2022, Minnesotans who are at least 21 years old can lawfully purchase and consume edible and drinkable products containing hemp-derived THC, the primary intoxicant found in cannabis plants. A moratorium on the sale of hemp-derived THC food and beverages, including products with Delta-9 and Delta-8, is being considered by the Ottertail County Board of Commissioners. What are your thoughts on the sale of these products within our county and the county's role in regulating them?
The only thoughts that I think I can comment on are that we heard a lot of concerns regarding that, and so the Ottertail County Board decided to have a public hearing regarding a potential for a moratorium, and that's what we need to do. We need to listen to all sides of this to make sure that we make an informed decision and to make sure that our public is heard. That's really as far as I can comment on the proposed moratorium.
Thank you, Commissioner Johnson. Mr. Kuntarik.
Just a few business owners, a couple school professionals have talked about it and asked what I think about it, and I just started to do the research. It is something that has just come up, and I do think that the citizens of Ottertail County need a chance to address their concerns or their pros for the THC sale here and wait for the public hearing and be able to voice their opinion before we make a decision. That's very important.
Thank you. Our last question today will go back to Mr. Kuntarik. What do you feel is the most pressing issue for Ottertail County?
We really need to get business in here, and we need to address what I call the nuts and bolts of Ottertail County. We have to take care of the roads. When we collect a tax, roads have to be taken care of. Tourists like the nice roads that come in. Businesses would like the nice roads that come in. And we that live here and drive them need to have decent roads. We have a sales tax on the gas, we have a wheelage tax, and we have a budget, and that needs to be applied. And we have to take care of the basic necessities that a county board should be taking care of. We can't keep kicking that down the road. We've had a lot of time to fix roads, and we've had time to fix bridges, we've had time to fix infrastructure. It needs to get done, and we need to focus on that. The problems that the people bring up, those should be our very first problems that we're working on. One of the reasons why I'm running is that we just need to fix and take care of the nuts and bolts, and then when it's something that's outside the boundaries of what we consider we should be paying taxes for, that's where we open up the forum and we discuss, and we see if that's going to benefit us, the people of Ottertail County, the best.
Thank you. Commissioner Johnson.
Could you repeat the question, please?
Yes. What do you feel is the most pressing issue for Ottertail County?
We need housing and workforce. Several of our larger businesses have been forced to expand outside the county, mainly due to a lack of available workforce. To bring in workforce, we need to expand our infrastructure, housing, broadband, childcare, and the like. Increasing the housing stock allows businesses to bring in employees and their families. More families will drive the expansion of our schools, the small businesses, the grocery stores, the hardware stores. I don't believe families will come here if we don't have a safe, affordable housing, good internet access, a safe place for their families to go to daycare, and also recreation for when they are not at school, not at work. Bringing in more workforce also helps our businesses grow, which will in turn grow our tax base. Growing our tax base reduces individual property taxes. Furthermore, increasing our housing stock is economic development. Housing construction fuels growth in multiple ways through increased employment opportunities for builders, plumbers, electricians, and concrete workers. It also increases the sales of materials needed for construction, helping our lumber yards, our hardware stores, our grocery stores, and all of the businesses on Main Street and outside of Main Street. We are competing statewide and nationwide for a limited number of workers. We need to let them know they are welcome here, that we have a place for them in our community, and this is a great place to live, work, and play. Have I gotten to my limit yet, Dave?
30 seconds.
Thank you. And to address road funding, our roads were designed to be funded by the state. Most of the funding comes into Ottertail County through gas tax and registration taxes. It was never designed to be fully done with levy. We haven't increased any of those funding sources since, the state hasn't increased any of those funding sources since 2004. And as you know, inflation has ate up our budgets. Thank you.
Thank you. We will now conclude with our closing statements. You'll have 2 minutes to provide a closing statement, and we will start with Mr. Gunterick.
Well, in closing, this was very nice to have this small debate. I'm running because I want to be the voice of the people. There is a lot of concern about our direction in Ottertail County. And I think that we need to be listening to the people who live here. The people that live here understand that we do need housing, we do need daycare, and we need people to move in here, but they do want to stay in their homes. They don't feel like they have to be taxed out of their homes or off their property. They also think that before building a house, we should have jobs that people will move here for. You can see surrounding communities that are doing this without the type of programs that we have. What is the true reason why people aren't moving here? We have close to the over 1,000 lakes. We have some very nice, unique small towns. Why aren't investors coming in here? Why aren't workers coming in here? And I've talked to a few businesses and we've talked about some serious stuff. Why are so many people burning through that business? How many people can we have for certain businesses to keep that business open? What's going on inside the business that people leave so quickly? So you have employees and then people leave very quickly. We also need to address this daycare permanently. We need to address the roads permanently. We need to work with the state to get that funding in here. These roads need to be taken care of. So I'm running for the voice of the people. I am not running for a retirement job. I'm not running for any type of insurance. I'm here only to speak for the voice of the people that I've talked to and to bring Ottertail County to the vision that we have. We all have a vision of Ottertail County and what it should look like. And that's why I'm running. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Johnson.
Thanks, Sarah. In closing, again, I'd like to thank KBRF and Layton Broadcasting for hosting this event, and the City of Fergus Falls for allowing us to use this fine facility. It's an honor and a privilege to have had the opportunity to participate. I also want to remind you to go vote. You can vote now at the auditor's office, or you can vote at your regular polling place on November 8th. But it's imperative for our democracy that we all go and cast our vote. I think there's a clear choice for the voters of District 2 this fall. I'm a hardworking, common-sense farm kid who grew up to purchase and grow a small business. I know what it is to create jobs, to make payroll, to treat people fairly and honestly. I'm a strong church and community supporter. I organized our church's Ukraine Refugee Support Dinner, raising funds to help 2 Ukrainian families get on their feet, find them a place to live, and become self-sufficient. I work with members of our church in partnership with our local Lions Club to organize and serve an annual Christmas Day dinner, free of charge to anyone who wants to attend. Our family believes it's important to serve and to give back to the community. I would be honored to continue to serve the citizens of Ottertail County. I'm Wayne Johnson. I would appreciate your vote this fall. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner Johnson, and thank you, Mr. Gunterick, for your time and your thoughts today. We will be back with more of the Ottertail County Commissioners debates with our candidates from District 3 and District 4 on News Talk 1250 KBRF after a word from our sponsors. Thank you.